How we doing, folks? In today's video, we're going to take a look at how our favorite tiny little crustaceans extract all the nutrients and minerals that they need from the foods that we give them. It's pretty energy intensive, so hopefully by the end of it, you'll understand why we believe foods like this help maintain these shrimp in tip-top condition with minimal effort, not only from you, but from the shrimp's energy reserves. Okay guys, your dwarf shrimp, like your Neocaridina and your Caridina species, are built to be constant grazers. Their entire anatomy supports a lifestyle of scraping, filtering, and processing tiny particles from the environment. Where does it all begin? Well, at the front end, way before the mouth. Shrimp use their antennae and antennules to detect chemical cues in the water. These structures are packed with chemoreceptors that allow them to sort of taste dissolved compounds the same way that a snake sort of tastes the air with their tongue. This is how they locate biofilm, decaying plant matter, leftover fish food, and even microbial colonies that we can't see. Once food is located, the mouth parts begin their coordinated work. Shrimp have a surprisingly complex set of appendages around the mouth. You've got maxillipeds, which are sometimes called the feeding legs, but one of the sets, the clawed sets, often referred to as chela or chela, I'm not sure how you say that, guys, I'm sorry. They act like little arms that grab particles and sweep them towards the mouth. They can even sort through what they're picking up, rejecting pieces that are too large or stuff that just doesn't really taste that good. Then once you get the food past the maxillipeds, you've got the maxillae and the mandibles. Now the mandibles are the real heavy hitters here. They consist of chitinous plates that are capable of grinding and scraping and crushing, but unlike vertebrate jaws like yours, mine, or your dog's, they don't move up and down. Shrimp mandibles typically move side to side in a shearing action. The edges, they're generally serrated, which lets the shrimp tear apart algae filaments, crack into softened plant matter. Now, this is the first major mechanical breakdown of a shrimp's food. But once the food is ground small enough, it enters the mouth opening. It passes into a short muscular tube called the esophagus. Now this region doesn't really do much, but it acts like a conveyor belt, sort of pushing food deeper into the digestive system. And it does that using sort of rhythmic muscular contractions. Then we reach one of the most interesting parts of a shrimp's anatomy, the foregut, which includes the cardiac stomach, the pyloric stomach, which is anterior and posterior respectively. Together they house the famous gastric mill. Now the gastric mill is the primary reason why we use either compressed powdered foods or dry powdered foods, which are free floating around the water. And you'll see why in a moment. The gastric mill is essentially an internal organ which is made of hardened chitin plates, ridges, and teeth-like structures. Now, if the mandibles are the first sort of primary crusher, the gastric mill is the second, much stronger refining one. Inside the cardiac stomach, food is churned and ground, almost like a tiny internal food processor. The gastric mill's chitinous teeth, they rub against each other as the stomach's muscles contract, reducing the food into kind of a fine slurry. Now, this structure allows shrimp to break down tough materials like algae cell walls, plant fibers, and even microbial biofilm clusters. Once the food is adequately processed, it moves into the pyloric stomach, which kind of acts more like a filter chamber. This is where the fine particles can pass through into the hepatopancreas and midgut, whilst the larger fragments have to be redirected back towards the gastric mill. They need additional grinding. And when you start with a fine powder-based food, you reduce the likelihood of it needing to go back through, which is saving the shrimp's energy. Now, when it goes back through for additional grinding, it ensures that only properly sized particles continue down deeper into the digestive system and, well, they don't get bunged up or have internal issues. And from there, the food comes back and comes into the pyloric stomach, which functions similarly sort of to an intestine. This is the primary site where chemical digestion starts. It's carried on through the hepatopancreas, and that's where most of the nutrition absorption happens. So enzymes, which we have another video on whether or not they can actually break down cellulose and whether snowflake is actually a food worth using or not, because research says that there are limited enzymes shrimp can create on their own, but that's a different video. The enzymes begin to take over, basically breaking it down where mechanical grinding left off. Now, the key player here is the hepatopancreas. It is amazing. It's an organ unique to crustaceans and a few other invertebrates. It combines the roles of the liver, the pancreas, and the intestine in higher animals like you, me, or your dog. The hepatopancreas also produces digestive enzymes that break down your proteins, your fats, and your carbohydrates. It also absorbs nutrients, stores energy, detoxifies metabolic waste, and much, much, much more. Most of a shrimp's energy reserves, used for growth, reproduction, and molting, come directly from this organ. As digestion proceeds, nutrients are absorbed directly through the midgut walls. There's tiny little hair-like structures in the midgut, which are essentially just there to increase the surface area, allows for more absorption. The shrimp can extract amino acids from the proteins, glucose from simple carbohydrates, and lipids for long-term energy storage. Any microbial components, like bacteria within the extracellular matrix of the biofilm, it's also digested and broken down into usable nutrients. Material that can't be digested, things like your cellulose fibers, sand grains, or just undissolved minerals, well, they pass from the midgut into the hindgut. Now, the hindgut is narrower and much more muscular than the midgut. Its primary role is water regulation and compaction of waste. Shrimp are efficient recyclers of water, especially small dwarf species that live in environments where water quality can fluctuate from time to time. As waste moves through the hindgut, water is reabsorbed into the body, leaving the remaining material packed into dense, well, little pellets of poo. At the very end of the digestive system is it's located on the underside of the shrimp's tail fan. This is where the poo pellets are released. If you've probably seen these tiny little cylindrical pellets sitting on the substrate, if you've got a sand substrate, or perhaps floating briefly down if the shrimp happens to be sat on a leaf, before settling on your substrate. Each one is the final product of an incredibly efficient digestive machine, engineered to extract every possible nutrient from microscopic food sources. What to me is especially interesting is how quickly and continuously this process happens. And that requires a lot of ATP, which is actual energy. So the more you can reduce the amount of ATP that they need to process their food by feeding a quality, easily digestible food, the better health you're giving your shrimp. Now, dwarf shrimp are almost always eating. Their digestive systems are designed for constant low-level intake rather than large, big one-off meals. In fact, the entire process from digestion to elimination can be surprisingly fast, sometimes just an hour or two, depending on things like the temperature, what you're actually feeding, and the shrimp's own metabolic rate. This system helps explain why dwarf shrimp thrive in tanks rich in biofilm and algae and microbial diversity, really. These natural food sources perfectly match the shrimp's digestive design. That's why low phosphorus greens feeds the natural food. It grows the biofilm. Supplemental foods though? Yeah, commercial pellets, blanched vegetables, these provide extra nutrition, but the shrimp's digestive system is specifically optimized for tiny organic particles broken down across several mechanical and chemical stages. So from the moment food reaches the mandibles to the moment a waste pellet drops onto your substrate, dwarf shrimp are performing a complex series of mechanical grinding, filtering, enzymatic digestion, and nutrient absorption, all packed into a creature of an inch. Well guys, that's what I've got. That is the journey of whatever you're feeding your shrimp from front end to back end. I hate asking, but if you liked it, please like it. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you think anybody could learn something from that. I mean, it's not a massively scientific deep dive, but please do share it. It's dumb because we all know YouTube. We know how it works. If you liked it, you'd like it. If you wanted to subscribe, you would, but I keep getting told off because we are a growing channel and I don't ask. So there it is. There's the ask. I'd appreciate it. We're little, we're growing. And for the 38 of you that do subscribe, Thanks for your support, I guess. I mean, shrimp is not all we do, definitely not. We breed some pretty cool stuff, and there are other videos on that, but most of the videos at the moment are geared towards learning and beginners. So yeah, maybe take a look around, see if there's anything anybody you know could benefit from. And as always, guys, find a reason to smile, and if you can, give a stranger a reason to as well. Powerful. I'll see you in the next one.